What if the most profitable way to sell a product was to refuse to sell it? It's a strategy that defies basic economics. A move that seems, on the surface, completely irrational. For nearly 30 years, one of the world's largest entertainment companies built a multi-billion-dollar empire by locking its most beloved products away from the public. They took timeless classics, films families wanted to own, and made them impossible to buy. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an oversight. It was one of the most effective marketing strategies ever conceived. The strategy was called the Disney Vault. From 1994 until the launch of Disney Plus in 2019, this policy dictated the lifeblood of Disney's home video sales. Films like Snow White, The Lion King, and Aladdin would be available for purchase for a short period. Sometimes a year, sometimes only a few months. Then, they would be pulled from store shelves and placed on moratorium. They went back into the vault, with no set date for their return. Parents scrambled to buy copies before they disappeared. Prices on the secondary market skyrocketed. A simple VHS tape became a coveted collector's item. The entire system created a paradox. How did making products unavailable make Disney more money? How did a company build intense customer loyalty by consistently telling them no? That is the question we are answering today. To understand the vault, we first have to go back to a time before home video. Before television was even in most homes. When Walt Disney released Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, it was a cultural phenomenon. But he faced a unique problem. How do you keep a film profitable after its initial run? His solution was simple, yet brilliant. He decided to re-release his classic animated films in theaters on a predictable cycle. Roughly every 7 to 10 years. The timing was deliberate. 7 years was long enough for a new generation of children to be born and reach the perfect age to experience the magic for the first time. It allowed parents to share a piece of their own childhood with their kids. This strategy turned Disney films from one-time events into recurring family traditions. It kept the characters culturally relevant and ensured a steady stream of revenue for decades. The 1987 theatrical re-release of Snow White grossed over $46 million. This re-release model was the foundation of Disney's animation business. It was predictable, reliable, and incredibly profitable. Then, a new technology threatened to destroy it completely. The VCR. The rise of the VCR in the late 1970s and 1980s terrified movie studios. Their business was built on controlling access. Audiences paid for a ticket to see a film in a theater, at a specific time. But the VCR gave consumers control. They could buy a movie and watch it whenever they wanted, as many times as they wanted. For Disney, this was a catastrophe in the making. If they sold Cinderella on a VHS tape, why would anyone pay to see it in the theater again? Selling their classics risked cannibalizing their theatrical re-release revenue. It threatened to turn their timeless masterpieces into common commodities, gathering dust on a shelf. For years, Disney resisted putting its most prestigious animated titles on tape. But the market was too big to ignore. By the early 1990s, home video was a booming industry. Disney had to adapt, or be left behind. Their solution was to apply the logic of their old strategy to the new technology. They would release a film on home video, but not forever. They would create a limited window for purchase. In 1994, they put this strategy to the ultimate test with their first and most revered animated classic, Snow White. Disney announced it would be available on VHS for a limited time only. After that, it would go into the vault. The public response was overwhelming. Consumers, gripped by the fear of missing out, rushed to buy it. Snow White sold over 20 million copies in its initial release window. Disney had found its answer. The vault wasn't just a marketing gimmick. It was a strategic solution to a fundamental business model crisis. It allowed them to enter the home video market without destroying the golden goose of theatrical re-releases. With the business model solved, the vault evolved into a powerful psychological tool. It weaponized a fundamental principle of human behavior: we value what is rare. This is known as the scarcity heuristic. Our brains are wired to use an object's availability as a mental shortcut to determine its quality or value. If something is hard to get, we instinctively assume it must be good. The Disney Vault manufactured this feeling of scarcity on an industrial scale. By announcing a moratorium date, Disney created an urgent deadline. It triggered a powerful sense of FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Consumers weren't just buying a movie, they were buying an opportunity. An opportunity that would soon vanish. This transformed the act of purchasing a Disney movie. It was no longer a casual decision. It became an event. Disney leaned into this with massive marketing campaigns. Commercials featured ominous voiceovers and ticking clocks, counting down the days until a film would be locked away for years to come. The slogan "Own it before it goes back in the vault" became a powerful call to action. This strategy fundamentally changed the perceived value of their product. A Disney Blu-ray wasn't just a plastic disc. It was a limited edition platinum edition or a diamond edition collector's set. It was a piece of history, a collectible that you had to own now. By controlling the supply, Disney controlled the demand. They turned nostalgia into an urgent, time-sensitive purchase. The psychological impact translated into enormous financial success. The Vault strategy created a perfectly managed economic engine. First, it eliminated the risk of market saturation. In a normal market, a popular product that is always available eventually sees its price drop as supply outstrips demand. Retailers offer discounts to move inventory. The Vault made this impossible. By keeping the supply artificially low, Disney maintained premium pricing. They never had to discount their classic films. A movie like The Lion King was just as valuable, if not more so, 10 years after its release because it had been unavailable for most of that time. Second, the Vault created a predictable, recurring revenue surge. Every few months, Disney could unlock a new title. This generated a massive spike in sales, not just for the movie itself, but for all related merchandise. When Aladdin was released from the Vault, sales for toys, clothes, and games featuring its characters would also explode. Each release was a major event on the company's financial calendar. This cycle continued flawlessly through the eras of VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. Disney would even re-release the same film in different formats, each with its own limited window, convincing consumers to buy the same movie multiple times. The Vault ensured that Disney's most valuable assets, its classic animated films, never lost their power to generate immense profit. It was a masterclass in supply chain management, applied to storytelling. And this is the secret. The genius of the Disney Vault was not just about making movies rare. It was about perfectly recreating the magic and urgency of a trip to the movie theater, but for the home. The original 7-year theatrical cycle worked because it was an event. It was a special occasion that brought families together. The Vault took that same principle and applied it to a physical product. It wasn't a storage facility for old films. It was a hype machine. A demand-generating engine that ran on a simple, powerful loop: anticipation, urgency, and satisfaction. It allowed Disney to solve the home video problem, create intense consumer demand through psychological triggers, and maintain complete control over pricing and revenue for decades. They realized that the stories were timeless. But by making access to them temporary, they made the opportunity to own them priceless. The product wasn't just the film, it was the limited chance to buy it. The Disney Vault officially ended with the launch of Disney Plus in 2019. The new strategy is to have everything available, all the time, for a subscription fee. But the legacy of the Vault teaches a timeless business lesson. In a world of infinite choice and instant access, scarcity, even when it's completely artificial, is a powerful tool for creating value. We see this same strategy today. From limited edition sneaker drops by Nike, to seasonal product releases by Supreme, to the carefully controlled supply of diamonds by De Beers. Companies understand that managing supply is a powerful way to influence demand. The Disney Vault proved that what you choose not to sell can be just as important as what you do sell. It's a reminder that the most valuable resource isn't always the product itself, but the consumer's attention and desire. And for 30 years, no one commanded that desire better than Disney. If you learned something new, hit the like button and subscribe for more strategy breakdowns. And let us know in the comments, what company's strategy should we unlock next?